Women and savings go hand in hand. I think we are a firm believer of, saving, not right now or not like a decade ago. It's been like many years that we believe into this.
I have to be safe and secure. So for me, money is really about building my own reserves, not just emotional, but it's also about monetarily how quickly can I be my own person so that the fear of not having to depend on anybody.
To be able to save it, to be able to grow it, to be able to make it into something that helps me, my family, have, like I said, the risk-free environment and the ability to stand strong. I think that's what money started to mean for me, Vajanti.
Hi, I'm Vaijanti.
Hi, I'm Neha.
Hi, I'm Satpreet.
And we are
The Women in Banking.
Welcome everybody to this show. And today we are here to talk about women and our relationship with money. वैसे तो women की जब बात होती है तो it's always about relationship with somebody, right? Husband, father, mother, father-in-law, mother-in-law. But this conversation is going to be a bit different. So it's about our relationship with money. So if you ask me, I think ये थोड़ी emotional सी बात होती है, right? Our relationship with money is not about numbers, but let me go to Satpreet और आप बताइए कि आप क्यों पैसा करती हैं? आपकी क्या स्टोरी है?
पैसा तो पूरी दुनिया करती है. So as much a part of it as anybody. Story actually कभी पैसे के बारे में थी नहीं when it began, right? Childhood, school, college, till then had no clue actually what it means to manage money or go to a bank or even do very, very basic financial transactions, as we now call them, being in banks. So at that point of time, it was just about having enough money to maybe, have enough petrol in my scooty. Okay. Or having enough money so that there is a chat session possible sometime in the evening with friends. So I remember till my engineering, actually, I don't think I had even entered a bank. But then came the time of applying for those MBA admissions and, फिर उस ज़माने में तो अभी मुझे नहीं पता, but तब तो at least draft बनाना पड़ता था, demand draft. You had to give a demand draft with every application. And that's when my father said, enough of this. I won't go to the bank branch every time. Now you go to SBI or, any other bank that we deal with and figure out how to get a demand draft made. Because so many demand drafts is not something I can keep doing all the time. So मैंने बोला ठीक है, अब तो जाना पड़ेगा, समझना पड़ेगा. It sounded like the most boring activity to do. But still, I think that began that small relationship of understanding what, the 5 digits on a DD, what the decimal after it, what all that means, right? And slowly understanding what it means from a money perspective began somewhere there. After that, it's been a lot, obviously, about the job, how much are we getting there, how much are we able to save. And I think the relationship then grew into not just about having money to spend, but actually having money, like I said, to be able to save it, to be able to grow it, to be able to make it into something that helps me, my family, have, like I said, the risk-free environment and the ability to stand strong. I think that's what money started to mean for me, Vajanti.
So for me, money is really about building my own reserves, not just emotional, but it's also about monetarily how quickly can I be my own person so that the fear of not having to depend on anybody.
So, women and savings go hand in hand. I think we are a firm believer of, saving, not right now or not like a decade ago. It's been like many years that we believe into this. And I think whenever I have approached my mom during my college days or whenever, she has never said कि मेरे पास पैसा नहीं है. Although she used to go and tell this to my dad कि यार पैसे खत्म हो गए, and I used to wonder कि ये नहीं है versus खत्म हो गए में कुछ तो मतलब issue है, ये कैसे आपके पास, where are you getting it from? And then my mom said that every woman who, and the homemaker population, of course, during my mother's era, was a huge population who were homemakers, and of course, women were not working as much as we are today. So she used to always say that हमेशा बचत एक आदत है, उसको अगर आप सीख लो या उसको समझ लो, then I don't think so you will ever have any problems or troubles in life, or you will not be dependent on anyone. Whenever my husband opens the wallet, कैश कभी नहीं दिखता है क्योंकि वो छुपा हुआ रहता है. And he's like, अभी तो मैंने वॉलेट देखा उसमें कैश नहीं था. नहीं, वो छुपा हुआ है, बट वो है.
यूपीआई का जमाना है ना, तो कैश कैसे मिलेगा?
करेक्ट. तो फिर वो मैं जवाब दे सकती हूँ उनको कि यूपीआई है, नहीं कर सकते, नहीं है. बट जब चाहिए कैश या कुछ इमरजेंसी आ गई है, सम किराना शॉप वी ऑर्डर्ड सम ग्रोसरी, तो वो कैश निकल आता है, तो ही ऑलवेज वंडर्स कि यार ये कहाँ से निकल के आ रहा है. सो वी ऑल आई थिंक हैव दैट हैबिट कि कहीं somewhere at the corner of some, in our house, we might have, saved some money for that rainy day or for that emergency fund. So it is all banking terminologies. However, I think we are learning this from since the childhood, looking at our mothers. So that's how it is.
But I just want to say here that these are, I think, roles that have existed for long, like you just shared, Neha, and they do continue. But I just want to share that मेरे यहाँ तो reversal हो रहा है. So between me and my husband, I think it's more my husband wanting to save rather than me. But at the same time, I think I do agree with Neha completely. Even today, if you see in basic banking statistics, right? I think we have discussed Neha earlier, how women are actually saving more in, if you see per customer, as we do in banking or per account, they are actually having 25 to 30% more savings sitting in their bank accounts or in their fixed deposits or in their investment corpus. So it is what Neha just shared is actually playing out not just in the way we understand society, but also in the way we see numbers every day, in the way we understand banking every day.
पहले भी women were saving a lot in comparison to the male counterparts. Now also savings account is a way to save their money, and they are always more than the male counterparts. In fact, the statistics which we recently shared during one of our women's savings account product launch, we shared that 33% of the women, the savings, the balances that we keep is 33% higher than the male counterparts. In fact, if you will see the per account average balance also, it's almost double than the requirement. So women are that strong when it comes to savings.
I think that, I do take your point. I am a conservative investor, right? So for me, I'm a Warren Buffett disciple. Okay, so buy and hold, and then, let the power of compounding take over. So I wanted to ask both of you, what do you think, are women very conservative? Are they risk averse, which is why they have a lot more account balances than men? Is that what you hypothesize?
Once again, if you see in terms of data that we see around, yes, the persistency of the investments made by women is much longer than the persistency of investments that are made by men. So consciously, subconsciously, they are making choices every day which allow them to stick longer with their investments. Maybe it's about patience, though women sometimes are not, supposedly known for their patience.
That's a popular narrative, but I think in investing.
I think in investing, it's a lot about patience, and I feel somewhere women have the edge there.
Yes.
And they are looking for the more long-term returns, like I said.
So in my case, I'm the risk taker and my husband is not a risk taker. I invest in stocks. He doesn't invest. He is more into mutual funds and SIP. But at the same time, I'm patient enough. I hold my stocks. I don't keep, selling and buying and etc. But there is a myth that women always are dependent on their male counterparts for, seeking help for investments. Let me tell you, that's not the case. Koi kisi ke paas time nahi hai. Koi nahi help karta hai. So whatever I have learned is, I've learned by myself, by reading reports or newspapers or whatever, or hearing to few colleagues and taking help from colleagues maybe. So it's not that every time women has to be dependent on their male partners or brother or father, whoever. We are very self-sufficient. We can learn on our own. However, yes, there is, this gap usually which we find that, okay, some sense of knowledge is required. And that's what I was talking about, that is where I thought personally that we should definitely come up with a product wherein we add a financial literacy program so that we help those women like me also. We help women who doesn't have any idea, also to help women who has some bit of idea but still there's some gap. So trying to sort of bridge that gap. Otherwise it's a myth that okay, we are always dependent on our male partners for that.
But a little bit, if I may, the other perspective, if I may bring to what Neha just shared, still, if you look at the investment assets in the country, in markets and all, though it was 15% 5 years ago, or I think 6-7 years ago, in terms of how much is invested by women, it's only still 21%.
Yeah,
Or something thereabout, which means that yes, there is a population. We are women in banking, and hence our understanding, appreciation, ability to do some of this is much higher. But I think there is a population that is still not out there investing as actively,
Absolutely.
or still dependent on either their partner or their parents, or whichever way it be, in terms of their ability to take financial decisions.
Correct.
And like you said, the product that you have worked on, that the bank has just come out with it, with is also about now kind of taking this message across.
Absolutely.
That a lot more women can do this because a lot more women are already doing it.
Yeah,
True.
that's true.
No, in fact, that's something that maybe I'll ask both of you if we can, let women out there know that which are the resource networks that they can access when they educate themselves on this. I'm the one who's actually managing my portfolio far better. So, any tips on how do you get access? How do you get more information? Because sometimes men have access to certain resources that come naturally.
Yeah.
They know people, or, they just probably dial a few people and get information. So how should they approach this? Like if I'm in a dilemma, where do I put my money in? How must they help their decision making?
So, जिसका कोई नहीं है उसका Google है. But still, let me give the disclaimer that all advice available on the internet is not something that anybody should blindly go with. At the same time, I think what the plethora of knowledge around us today and the easy access that is there available out there helps us is to kind of understand the basics of it to begin with, right? The effort has to come from us.
Yes.
The effort definitely has to come from us to understand some basics. What does it mean? How is return calculated? What are the basic terminologies around it? What is the time tenure that you need to look at? What are different asset classes available, etc., etc. So there is a little bit of self-effort that goes in. But after that, today there are institutions that you can depend on,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
There is advice available. There are institutions available that can ensure that you have structured reports available, research outputs available. But in the end, consume to हमें करना है, right? We have to spend time to be able to understand. And I think hence there is a basic investment that we need to make in ourselves as women.
True. Yeah.
And that is self. That is about going out there and spending time and learning it and taking that little bit of, वो अपने पे भरोसा करके आगे बढ़ने वाला कि थोड़ा सा करके देखते हैं.
Correct.
What will go wrong, right? So getting that element out there, some bit of self-learning combined, and then I feel there is enough structured input also available today through institutions, through reports, that we can keep consuming and decide what is right for us versus what is not right.
See, absolutely agreed to what Satpreet said. It's, up to you how you have to, थोड़ा सा खुद पे भरोसा करके, आगे बढ़ना चाहिए. Plus, it is very important that just have a glance through, certain apps. There are many financial apps available today, and there's a very interesting story how I downloaded all these apps. So when I joined liabilities product team way back, 6-7 years back, one of my supervisors, who was like the department head then, he had actually gathered all the new joinees and people who were slightly old in his team. And the first thing he told us is, first of all, now that you've come into a core banking product team kind of thing, the first thing you have to do is download all these apps. Whether it is ET, Money Control, InShots, whatever. Be at least on top of the latest news in banking, so that at least, you have some amount of awareness. And there were few colleagues of mine who asked that why is this required? So he just told that today you are in a bank wherein you are in a core banking product kind of role. You would want to know what is going around in other banks. This will be the first question whenever you create a product. People will ask you, where is the competition benchmarking, and how do you do that if you don't know what is happening around other banks? So download these, read about it. It will not just be about banking, it will be beyond. It will help you, get to know that adequate knowledge about investments, where you should invest, what are the solutions, what are latest solutions. And hence, there was a very interesting study that, came up. Although we have only 21% women who are investing, but there are many women today who are using fintech apps, for investments. And the percentage of this women, the penetration or a population of women using these apps is going up and up, every year on year. So we are, in terms of all these investments, we are evolving. It's like an evolution, and it's happening at a rapid speed, which I'm very happy about. So
What you just said actually reminds me of a story. I met a CEO a few weeks ago of a Global Capability Center. GCC is the in thing right now. And he was sharing that one of his concerns, or rather one of his passions, is to ensure that the young folks in the company actually invest. They do, we have this, what we call now the spend economy, right? Everybody just wants to spend or then borrow and spend. So his goal was that, can I get the youngsters, the Gen Z in my company to invest more? And then he got a group of people together, all the young folks, and men, women, boys, girls, all together, and said, okay, we'll all invest some amount and let's see who does the best. And he was sharing how a young girl actually, she just depended on an app, plus some of the structured reports and information available, created a portfolio, and she's a front runner right now in terms of investing as well as the returns she's getting on it. And the whole team now wants to know, ki ye kya kar rahi hai? What is she doing? What are the choices she's making? So she's right now that bright star in that team who is leading and telling people how they should be investing and making the returns that they are all looking for. So I think it just kind of tells us that it's all available. It's all about that self investment, that passion to some extent. And I think एक बार होता है ना तो आदत भी पड़ जाती है.
बिल्कुल.
So it's all about that.
It's all about that.
It's all about, app world we are living in, or technology world that we are living in, wherein we are like, for eating we need an app, for investment we need an app, for savings we need an app. So it actually, it's not a bad thing as per me, because it's actually making you learn more and more things, and that too which is in your hand. You don't have to go anywhere else. You can actually visit few apps and learn, like how she spoke about that young girl. There are many girls and these Gen Z era that we speak about. There's lots to learn from them, although they are also fast paced and slightly immature maybe, but there are few of them who are like, really turning the things around for themselves.
That's not a very popular statement you just made.
Every generation thinks that the generation before them was invented.
Actually.
So we let that pass. But you make a very important point. So I do want to, check this, right? So, we go and make pitches to various customers. So when we are pitching to, say, women, is there something nuance you need to bring in the way that you pitch a product? Like you'll now come up with this Arise product. I'll ask you about the history of why Arise, but do you have to make that change?
So yes, I mean, see, there was a slight bit of difference, but we so I'll give you what we did. I'll tell you more about what we did during our research, right? So we interviewed 3 cohorts of women. One was your homemaker, one was self-employed entrepreneur, very smart, fast-paced. Another one was your salaried individual. There was one starking difference that I observed was the opening pitch, how we actually take this product to, this cohort of customer, and every start dialogue was very different. So say for an example, if there's a homemaker, we can't, simply go and talk to her about financial literacy program, right? We need to dwell into it, build it up by a different opening statement. So the first thing that the agency asked was, do you think you will be interested in a savings account product which gives you some discount on jewelry? Like you go to Tanishq and you go to some brand and you get a discount. That is where they showed interest and they were like, yeah, it sounds interesting. Similarly, to the other cohort, we changed the pitch. The start point was absolutely different. Over there, we spoke about, would you be interested in financial literacy program or to know more about finances? That was where their interest got. However, I feel that if the start of the product needs to be tweaked so that they actually show interest and then hear out the entire product, what is it all about. Whereas when we go to other audience like a male member, we can actually club a sort of information about, okay, would you be interested in financial literacy program? Would you be interested in something that helps you save? So there the notion will be, or the emotions are going to be very different from how we speak to women. I mean, there has to be some emotional touch maybe, is what I feel. And that is what we, sort of observed during the research as well. There was slight bit of emotional tweaking we need to do with all the personas.
Okay, so you're saying you have to appeal differently.
Appeal differently,
Yeah,
correct.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think Neha just spoke about what would you talk when you're trying to explain the product, right? And what may appeal, something may be different. The way you package it maybe needs to be different. It needs to cater to multiple needs rather than just maybe one focus need.
I can share my own personal example, right? So from time to time, some RMs do come to me and, what I think I've realized about myself is that, I don't get swayed by the latest shiny new object. For me, it's okay, this is my goal. And how is your product going to support my goal?
Yeah.
I think that's what we look at. And therefore, perhaps it takes a little more time, right? Because it's not about, what is being shown to you, but it's really also about what you actually want. And what's the objective behind making that investment, right? And which perhaps makes us look more conservative.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But actually may not be, because it is like you are fully aligned to your goals, right? Yeah.
True.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to thoda sa shift gears here and I will ask you, so you all handle large teams, right? And diverse teams. So in your teams, how do you see the relationship between careers and money for your team members?
Are women truly taking the asset creation decisions as well?
Okay. Okay, so if you ask me, I do take that decision, but I don't think others agree that it's a decision I have taken. I am the more focused investor in my family, and perhaps driven by my own family circumstances.
So let me ask a question to Satpreet. You have a huge team now, and with Corporate Salary, the entire team which reports into you. I'm sure there are, there's a combination of a younger generation versus slightly, mid-generation, maybe of my age or slightly younger to me. And what do you think do you think that there is a...
generation Q, Gen Z, Gen Alpha.
Bata do.
Well, thank you so much if you consider that I'm Gen Z.
From where I sit, everybody else is
Gen Z.
No, we are together only.
Okay. So what do you think? Is there a difference between their savings behavior, or, what do you think? How do you experience that between that?
Let me kind of answer it not just financial and saving or money terms, because I think, as you said, the more younger folks, though I do want to feel I'm young enough, but still, since you are asking me this question, the more younger folks, I think they have ambition. They do have ambition. They are driven by it. But their ambition is a lot about consumption as well, right? It's not necessarily about, if I may say, about 10 years hence or 15 years hence yet. It is a lot about here and now, 6 months, 1 year. And hence the way they deal with money, I feel, is a lot about that as well. There have been experiences that I've seen where young folks have over leveraged themselves and have had to kind of suffer because of that. At the same time, there are people, youngsters in the team that are more prudent about it. But I do feel, like I said, that it is a lot more about consumption. But within this, and if I may very judgmentally say this, within this, women are less on the over leveraged side than on, because I think somewhere that role that they start playing from very early on, they see their mothers play, they see what is playing out in their family, makes them a little more cautious, a little more careful about how they are dealing with money and how they are going about it. So that's what I think I see in the younger lot in the team. It's yes, it's a diverse team. There are a lot of young people around. So there are all kind of people out there. But I am seeing more and more women right on the center stage, being ambitious about it and taking the decisions for themselves.
So there are, as I said, there are these differences between both the generations, rightfully so. My millennials or Gen Alphas, maybe they didn't have that much of, understanding when they were growing up, but today's generation is very well exposed to a lot of things and they know quite a lot of things also out there in the market. So there is a difference. Belief is the same. They both believe in savings. One is an ardent saver, one is a saver and then using it or consuming it. So yeah, so saving is a constant.
But on this, I want to add that whichever way it is, right, depending on the person, their own choices, the decision is theirs.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's a big difference I see.
Correct.
As compared to where maybe I was myself or people like me were, versus the younger women as well in the team. The decision is theirs and they will stand by it.
Rightfully.
And they'll take it. They'll be informed about it. But they will stand by their decision and they'll take
the confidence, right? I mean, when you're deciding, when it's your money, you're deciding you are saving, that's a different kind of confidence and rightfully said, the decision is theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
what
that's
makes a
probably a dramatic shift that we are seeing, right?
Yes.
From where perhaps, the working women's trajectory in India started and the asset classes they invested in and how they took the decisions versus today. Yeah, so I think we made a big journey. So any final comments on how women invest, save, and borrowers? We never spoke about that actually.
So women are definitely better savers. That I think we all discussed. When it comes to asset creation, they are not yet making all the decisions is how I'll put it. So we have some journey. When it comes to being investment making decisions, I think a long distance has been traveled there. Some more yet, but yes, we are making investment decisions.
I agree with you that we are better savers. We're conservative, I think, when it comes to managing our investments. I think on asset creation, first of all, I think we are also battling others' perception of us.
From the ancient history, we all know that, women are better savers. I can speak about it like, a million number of times. Women are evolving and they have started taking, part in decisions like buying, purchasing a property. In terms of borrowers, we are definitely better ones. That's what I feel.
It starts from self.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It starts from self.
Starts from self, and then you'll find, like you asked, Vajanti, you'll find the network, the resources to make it happen. But somewhere it has to begin from each one of us. Thanks for a very, very engaging conversation, both of
I
us.
didn't realize how the time literally flew.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.